Good afternoon, and welcome to the Sweets County Board of Education meeting. Thank you to our online stakeholders for joining us this afternoon. The time is now 12:10 in the afternoon. It is my pleasure to call the Sweets County Board of Education meeting to order. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
You may be seated. At this time, I have a moment to thank you. I have a moment. I have a motion to accept the agenda for today's meeting, August 18th, 2022.
I made that motion.
Motion been properly made by Mr. Ross. May I have a second? Motion was second by Ms. King. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye, raising your hand. You accept this motion? Aye. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. At this time, I want to ask any board members, do they have a conflict of interest, of said conflict that appears on our proposed agenda for this afternoon's meeting?
No.
Seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you. This time, I want to present to you the business agenda item A, which is our tax digest. We've had an opportunity to review in multiple occasions. I want to ask any board members, do we have any questions or if there's a presentation in reference to the tax digest? And this is an action presented by our Assistant Superintendent and CFO, Mr. James Austin.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Board Chair,
Proceed.
Vice Chair, board members, Superintendent Dr. Bullitt, and our constituents virtually. We've had the opportunity to publish our current 2022 tax digest in our local newspaper and via our website for 7 days. We are required by law to do so, and we've accomplished that. Also, we have presented the 5 years prior to 2022 tax digest, and it is shown before us from 2017 through 2021. Briefly, I want to remind us of our mission of Twiss County Public School, which is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all our students to compete globally, and our vision, generate excellence, one team, one goal. What you see before you, and I want to point your attention quickly to 2021 and 2022, the columns. We did notice that in 2022, we did receive more dollars for assessment in our real and personal category. Also, as we look at timber, timber had received a large increase going from 5.4 million to 8.6 million. We did anticipate this increase due to the market pandemic implications on the housing market and commodities and et cetera. So this was in line to what we did anticipate in forest timber. We do look at, for example, our less M&O exemptions. In this exemption, we do see that while there were more taxes available for exemption, it did not impact negatively our overall levied taxes for the school district. As you see, 16.45 for our net M&O millage rate. This is the rollback rate that we're presenting for approval for 2022. If you'll let me explain, the rollback rate is designed that the taxpayers do not receive an increase in their tax bill. If we would have maintained 6.6, it would have been considered a tax increase and we had to have 3 public hearings. Fortunately, our tax base is strong. We did not see a need for that. And we are presenting the rollback rate as such. And we do anticipate $136,930 in levy tax increase from over the prior year. Board members, board chair, Superintendent Dr. Bullock, this is my presentation. And we have done all the things according to state law. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Austin, for your presentation. Board members, do we have any questions for Mr. Austin this afternoon?
No.
Seeing none, may I have a motion to accept the tax digest as presented from our CFO and Assistant Superintendent, Mr. James Austin?
I make that motion.
Motion has been properly made by Mr. Ross, our Vice Chair. May I have a second? A second. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye or raising your hand if you accept this motion to approve our tax digest. Aye. Any opposers? No opposers. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much to our central office, our senior cabinet, as well as our virtual stakeholders for joining us this afternoon. At this time, I have a motion to adjourn our public session and enter into executive session.
I make that motion.
Motion has been properly made by Vice Chair Rouse. May I have a second? Second by Ms. Rhonda King. Any discussion? No discussion. I know by saying aye, raise your hand if you accept this motion. Aye. Ms. King's hand has been raised. Any opposers? No opposed. That motion carries unanimously. Tweets County, we are now in our executive session. Thank you so much. Welcome back to Tweets County. We have concluded our executive session discussing our personnel matters, hires, and so on and so forth. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to exit executive session and enter back into regular session.
I'll make that motion.
Motion been properly made by our Vice Chair, Mr. Rouse. May I have a second? Second by Ms. Rhonda King. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye or raise your hand if you accept this motion. Aye. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you again to our senior cabinet who took the time away from their busy day in our district to join us in this board meeting. So thank you so much for the work that you do as we continue to strive for excellence in our amazing district of Tweets County Public Schools. At this time, I want to present a possibility or a candidate for hire. This candidate for hire, CIDB 4665, in the position of teacher, high school teacher. This time I have a motion from the board to accept this candidate for hire.
I make a motion to accept the superintendent recommendation for the candidate for hire.
Thank you to our Vice Chair. Motion has been properly made by our Vice Chair, Mr. Rouse. May I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Rhonda King. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye, raising your hand. You accept the superintendent's recommendation for our new candidate, CID 4665. Aye. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. Congratulations to our new English teacher for our high school. Welcome to Tweets County. Looking forward to having you on board. Dr. Bullard, does this conclude our agenda items as well as any information that you'd like to present before the board this afternoon?
Mr. Chair and Vice Chair, Ms. King, this does conclude our call meeting for today. We want to thank you all as well for the approval of the rollback rate. I know our community appreciates it as well. Once again, for over a decade, our school district has not raised taxes with our community, and I know they appreciate that as well, especially in these economic times. So we want to thank the board for your continued support, not just for the school system, but this was an active for the community as well. And we want to say thank you. Our students are being taken care of. Our community has stepped up. Tax bills have been paid on time. And as a result, we've been able to provide some of the best technology, training, and services for our students and our staff as a result. So thank you all again. But this does conclude all of the business that we have for today's call meeting.
Thank you, Superintendent CEO, Dr. Matt Bullard. Thank you to Mr. Austin for the work that you do in this department, making sure that our numbers add up. When they don't, we know that your Vice Chair will have an issue. Speaking of Vice Chair, Mr. Rouse, have we concluded, or do you see any need for any further discussion or any comments before we adjourn?
No, sir. And you were correct. I will have a problem with that money.
We appreciate your diligence, Trustee Rouse. At this time, may we have a motion for adjournment?
I make that motion.
Motion been properly made to adjourn by Mr. Rouse. May I have a second? Faithful handwork by Ms. Rhonda King this evening. Second. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye. Raise your hand if you accept this motion for adjournment. Aye. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much again, Tweets County. Thank you, board, for being available. Have an amazing day, and we will see you soon.
You all have a great day.
Thank you.